Welcome to Saturday Racing. It's June 15th, 2019. We have winds out of the, looks like east, northeast, at about 8. It's beautiful out here, nice and cool compared to being in on land. 40 seconds to go, windward leeward course set up, and the buoy end is highly favored because the wind just shifted left about 10 degrees. And you want to start on that end, and you might want to start on port tack, like the blue boat is getting set up to do. Now, if you're back here, you want to just get on that line and get down to the other end, because you want to start on that third of the line that's favored. Okay, now between the blue boat and that boat down there, you know, the windward boat must stay clear of the leeward boat. So if the blue boat hails them, 3 seconds, 2, 1. Filbert, over! Filbert, over! Okay, now if you're over the line, you just have to go restart by either dipping below the line or going around the ends, and you can't interfere with any of the boats. So I'm going to say that the blue boat definitely won the start because of that wind shift way to the left. Their angle to the mark is very close. It's much closer on port tack than starboard, and so they're gonna, if they just hold that course right there, they're gonna win. Oh, clear! And so Filbert has has restarted, and we're gonna go shift around this line, of course, because the wind shifted and threw the course off. Now, when you're in the lead like that blue boat, all you have to do is cover the fleet. And to cover the fleet means just try and stay between your main competition and your next objective, which they're doing very nicely. And here we are at the weather mark, and the blue boat got around first. And it looks like the green boat's just gonna sneak in there. That was a smooth move. Now, they're sailing a short beam reach to this offset mark. And we just put that out to separate the windward boats from the leeward boats. It minimizes collisions, separates the fleet. Now, Filbert, this Harbor 20 to the right, is having trouble laying the mark. And they're in the wind shadow of this Flying Scot, which is faster in these conditions because they're half the weight and have about the same sail area. So now, if you're having trouble laying a mark, it's better to try and get in pinching mode, pointing mode, by getting all the crew weight to leeward and trim your sails in a little tighter to try and lay the mark, just like they did, instead of tacking. Because if you have to tack, every time you tack in these light wind conditions, you lose about 2 to 3 boat lengths. And so what they did was better. All right, so the boats are going to run down to the finish, and we'll record those shortly. All right, now these other boats have gained on the blue boat. I think they sailed into a wind hole. And so here's the finish line right over here. And now you see the blue boat can protect their position by heading up. And since the blue and the red sailboat are overlapped, and the overlap was not achieved by overtaking them, the blue boat can actually take them way up. There's no limitations actually outside of this 3-circle boat length by the zone, and that's a 3-circle imaginary circle around that mark. All right, we need to get on the line so we can figure out who's. There we go. And it's going to be a photo finish. So, wow, it looks like the blue boat is accelerating really good. All right, and so the red boat, Violet's 1, Pulse 2, Peanut 3, and Filbert will be 4th in the Harbor 20 class. Here we are at the start of race number 2, and we have 40 seconds to go. Now the wind has shifted back a little bit to the right, but it's still very much favored down there. I like how this blue boat, with 30 seconds to go, is getting set up on the line and aiming for his objective, which is to start on that third of the line, back over there. Okay. 15 seconds. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All clear! And Filbert, the boat at the other end, it's hard to see them, tried to do it last minute tack in front of the fleet type start, which you can do and do very well with, but they lost a lot of momentum. So now the blue boat is again out in front, and so they just need to cover the fleet, and they got this horse race won. Here we are by the weather mark, and the blue boat and the green boat have held their positions very well to round first and second, and the red sail boat looks like they're underlaying the mark. And here comes Filbert on port tack. Now they must give way to the starboard tack, and they're wisely ducking below them, and the red sail boat's tacking inside of them. That was a good move on their part. All right. We are at the finish, and Paul, the blue boat, will take the honors, followed by Peanut. I like how on Peanut that crew is barber hauling the jib. Now that just means he's trimming it outboard with his hand, and it makes the leach of the sail parallel to the leach of the main. So it keeps the slot more efficient. It's just a faster way to do it. All right, then we have Violet and Filbert and the Flying Scot. All right, we're going to move this course around because the wind has shifted quite a bit. We want to have a square weather leg. Here we are at the start of the next race.
Actually, I do keep my boat.
And winds have lightened up. And we shifted the starting line over to make it a square beat. It's only about 6 miles an hour right now. I think this thunderstorm might be sucking some wind over there. There's 40 seconds. And we lengthened the line too. So I like how they are up on the line. And, you know, Filbert down on the other end thinks that starting over there on port might be favored. I'm not too sure about that. I don't know if the angles are deep enough yet. All right, 15 seconds. And the red boat needs to get up on the line. 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All clear! And Filbert tried to port tack the fleet, and they couldn't cross the boats. Now, had they done that closer to the mark, they may have had a shot at that, but the angles just aren't quite where they used to be. Now, you see how Filbert tacked behind Peanut in their wind shadow? What they should have done is kept going and gone to clear air, because you need a clear lane of air. See, they're sailing in disturbed wind and going really slow and actually going backwards relative to the other boats. All right, now look at the main on Peanut, the green boat. You see how strapped it is? In lighter winds like this, you can't, that's not good. You know, you have to sail looser, okay? And you see how the blue boat's gonna roll over them? Yeah, because they're a little looser. So now, Peanut's gonna get rolled. And because they are in the disturbed wind of the blue boat, they need to tack away, clear their air. Just tack, now, go, get out of there. And they need to get into acceleration mode, which is, you know, you ease your sails off a little bit more. There you go, about 5 inches. Get it going as fast as you can for these wind conditions. There they go. See, it's getting moving. And you can trim them in and point a little higher later, but first you must get up to speed. But see, they aren't fully accelerated yet. They're not, see, they're already pinching and slowing down. You see that? So they need to learn how to get it in the groove for those conditions. And look at that Flying Scot go. He's zooming. Now, the blue boat should probably tack right on the wind of the red sailboat and dump on them. Because if they do that, oh wait, why are they tacking? Oh, thought he was maybe tacking. Because if they tack on the boat, the red sailboat, they can give them bad air and drive them backwards 2 or 3 boat lengths by doing that. So if I was the blue boat, I would have tacked sooner. And the blue boat has rounded first behind the Flying Scot. And here comes Violet. Looks like they're going to lay it with no problem. There may be a little current here, setting you to leeward. So if there is current, you want to be sure and compensate for that and overlay a little bit. All right, so Filbert tack below Peanut. Now, yeah, Peanut's tacking right on their wind. Now, Peanut should head down, get right on Filbert's wind. Gas them. Send them backwards.
Yeah, today is just not Filbert's day, is it?
No, they're not going to the right places today. But we all have those days. We're at the finish, and the Flying Scot is going to cross the line first, followed by Paul. See how they're heeling the boat to windward by putting their weight all on that one side? See, that reduces wetted surface and drag and helps them go faster. Plus, it raises the main sail wider part up in the air, so in theory it should catch a little more wind. That's fast. See how these other boats aren't really heeling to windward, they're just kind of sailing it flat. I think the blue boat's been doing it right. Here we are at the start of the next race. Looks like the rain's going to go inland from us. You know, usually the sea breeze keeps all that rain inland, so we don't get it out here closer to the ocean. All right, so there's 40 seconds to go. And I like how the blue boat's getting set up over there. They think they're going to port tack the fleet. I'm not sure the angles are going to be conducive enough for that, but we'll see. All right, 25 seconds. And woo. And it looks like this boat's going to do a dip start. Dip starts can be really fast in certain conditions. There's 15. And I see how Filbert is doing zigzags, you know, S-turns. That's how you kind of slow down if you're going to be early for your start. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. All clear. And I think Violet may have won that start. That's the red sail boat. The blue boat here has got a nice lane of clear air, but actually their angle isn't, well, it's pretty even with the other boats. So, well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. If they go over this way and get a shift to the right and they tack, they're going to be ahead of everybody. But if the wind goes left, everybody on the left is going to gain on the blue boat. So we'll see what happens. It looks to me like it could shift a little left. Now, Violet has slowed way down. They've been pinching. They haven't gotten into the groove yet. Now, the green boat, they're sailing nice and fast there. They look good. They're hooked up. And the Scots zooming along. They have a similar sail area, but way half of what the Harbor 20s what, because they have a centerboard and the Harbor 20s have a keel with a bulb on the bottom. So they will go faster in these conditions. I like how the crew on the red sail boat is squinched forward, and they've got about a 15-degree angle, which is fast. Cliff is steering, and he is doing a really good job. Looks like we had a port starboard situation over there, and the blue boat gained on the fleet. It looks like, I think the wind went right about 5-10 degrees. So when it goes right and you're the one to the right the most, you gain. So the wind gods smiled on the blue boat. Here at the weather mark, and look at that, the blue boat is leading again. And look how their weight placement is. They got 2 crew to leeward and 1 helmsman to windward. And so they've got that beautiful 15-degree heel on the boat, going fast. And Peanut's done a really good job keeping up with those newbies on board. And Mark Camelar coaching them. Excellent. And wow, we got some tight fleet racing today. There they go. So we're heading downwind now. Now, the blue boat rounded first. Now, they need to probably heat it up, because when you're sailing dead downwind, it's all about VMG. What is that? Well, velocity made good. So what you want to do is figure out the optimal angle in relation to the wind to make it to your objective, which is that finish line right down there where that Flying Scot just finished. Okay, so now sometimes that means you got to head up. Okay, now the red sail boat's taking them up, and they have the right to do that in order to protect their position, and they must stay clear of that leeward boat. Okay, and this is what's happening over here too. Now, if the green boat jibes over to starboard, the blue boat better watch out. Now, you can't jibe too close, but if you widen your distance and jibe over, you can force them over. Oh, now look at this. We got 2 starboard tackers coming at the port tackers. Whoa, whoa, and the port tackers are in the wrong. So the green boat committed a foul. They must do a penalty turn. Whoa, 2 fouls. They got two penalty turns to do. Meanwhile, the blue boat's just merrily sailing away. Yay! And so, you know, while the green boat is doing their penalty turns, they must, let's have a horn, they must stay clear of the other boats. So, okay, so, wait, get right on the line here. We need to do this photo finish here. But it looks like Violet will be number 2. Filbert's definitely number 3. And Peanut needs to get out of there. All right, there they go. Will the crew, Paul, please come forward for your award.
We're something out
You're shipping Andy away?
He's going to England for 3 months.
All right, face the camera.
It's a good thing.
Face the camera. There you go. There you go.
There you go.
Here's your expensive award here.
There you go. Thank you.
Good job. Good job. All right.
Represent for Andy, right?
All right.
Thanks, buddy.
And the winners for June 15, 2019. See you next week.